How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. It's been a crazy morning, but I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great, Beck. So welcome everybody to the Chris and Beck Show. We're going live from YouTube platform, and we're also going live from the Facebook platform. And
Yep.
so join us every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on YouTube. You can find our handle on Impact Water LLC. It'd be 10 o'clock every Tuesday, Mountain Standard Time. So we had a hiccup yesterday, so we had to shoot for today. So, Beck, what you got to say to your Facebook fans?
Well, I just wanted to thank everybody for tuning in this morning and for your patience while we sort of work out some of these kinks. Hopefully, you can hear Chris. We're actually recording from or broadcasting from two different locations. And so you won't see him on Facebook, but hopefully, you hear him because I've got him on screen in front of me. So if not, then we'll make adjustments next week. But otherwise, we're going to enjoy the show, and I hope you do too. We've got some great
Awesome.
stuff to talk about today.
A whole lot to talk about today, Beck. Beck, did you
Yeah,
have a great weekend?
I really did. We had a really great weekend. We started off Saturday with a garage sale, which was really successful. I
Okay.
sold one of my paintings, which was amazing,
That's
and
great,
so that
Beck.
was great. Yeah, so it was very successful. And then after that, we got cleaned up and went downtown to Boise Fashion Week.
Nice, nice. So,
Yep,
how was
we
that
had a
experience at Boise Fashion Week?
It was amazing. So we started off with dinner and then walked over to the venue from there. And my husband's suit was the talk of the town. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Talk of the town. And so we get to this venue and everybody's just scuttling around and stuff and made him feel like a superstar and wanted to know where'd you get your inspiration and stuff like that. And
Okay,
we had a
that's
blast.
awesome. That's really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. How
my
about you?
weekend,
What did
I
you do?
did I did pretty good. Weekend went to the Boise Fashion Week as well. I was a vendor
Yeah.
there. We were selling the Impact Water there. It was a very successful event. Yeah, that one there, right there, Beck. We were selling that there. So it was a very
Yep.
successful event. Um, Everything turned out good. So, Beck, let me tell you this quick story. So, Saturday morning, I decided
Yeah.
to go mountain bike riding with a couple of my friends. Beck, it was started out really good, but then I ended up
Yeah.
wrecking the bike, and then I ended up
Oh
mashing up
no.
my knees, and so
Oh
my
no.
whole knees was just messed up. So I had to go to urgent care, and
Oh no.
yeah,
Really
it was
bad.
bad. So right now I got a swollen knee, hardly can walk. I got my cane crutches. Just it's crazy. You know, but
Oh, bless your
overall,
heart.
overall,
Well,
I
what
had a great. Huh?
you gonna be okay though? Is it just is did you tear anything or is it just like
Right
hyperextended
now,
or
it could be a hyper. Right now it's just swollen, and I'm supposed to go back to get checked back up again. So I think what I'm going to start doing with the mountain biking is just stay on the kid zone and just do photo, just photograph the guys that does the bigger trails, So
I
I don't know if I'll
I
be
just
daring to
kinda
get
think it
back
was
on it again.
well, I gotta think that when you're on one of those, I mean, because you're not a small fella, you're big. I mean, you're 6'1" and you're bulky to boot. And then, if you're doing all this stuff and you come down with any kind of force, you're gonna bend the frame of that bike. I mean,
Oh man,
you've got a lot of mass going on.
yeah,
So
it was. I mean, I don't know if I was Superman or not, but I was flying. Hey,
that's
but
hilarious.
I was flying, but landing was not good.
Yeah, the landing is often not that great, but you didn't get
Right.
scraped up or anything. You just got, but you just hurt your knee. You didn't get any scrape because road rash is the worst.
Yeah, I got some road rash on there in my elbows, but right now it's just taking care of my knee, icing it, just trying to
Yeah.
get situated. Because I don't
Epsom
want to be, huh?
Epsom salt. Take a good soak in some Epsom salt. That'll help reduce some of your inflammation.
Okay. Thank you for that input, Beck.
Well,
So,
magnesium. Great.
right. So, to the audience, this is one of the reasons, again, we have to do remote from a different location because I'm on crutches and Beck's husband is not, he's sick, right? He's still sick,
He's
right?
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So,
sick. He got some kind of bug, and so
right.
he's upstairs.
So yeah, so we have to do a remote video live here until we back into the studio. So
Yep.
awesome. So
So,
today, huh?
where do you want to launch starting off today? Just a
So
little
are we still
revisit,
going
maybe?
to do? Did you still want to recap on last week?
Just a little brief visit because
Okay.
I really like the graphic that I found. I don't really want to go into a great big discussion about it because we talked about a good amount of that last week. So need to repeat it. But I did like this graphic a lot when I found it because it just is so simple.
That is
It kind
simple
of shows
there.
you,
Yeah.
right?
All
This is
right.
what
Well,
your plate
tell me
is.
a little bit about that.
Yeah, so right here is your this is going to be your fruits and vegetables, this biggest chunk right here.
So
And then 1/4.
you're referring to last week's about health and healthy lifestyle. That's what you're recapping about, right?
Yeah, because we were talking about, well, how much protein should we consume? And I
Okay.
said, well, change per person. So take your body weight, multiply it times 0.36, and that's how many grams of protein you should consume every day for maintenance, for good
Okay.
health.
All right.
Okay. And so this kind of refers to just so when you prepare your meal at night, this is how you want to sort of portion things out. Okay. As far as your overall day to day throughout the day, you'll just have to keep tabs on that. But you should have one meal at least that looks like this every day. And this is fruits and vegetables. So that's half. And then we have our proteins down here. And then up here we have our carbs. So our grains and cereals and things like that, not sugar. But
Right.
like your grains and cereals and stuff like that. Because
Okay.
these kind of carbs convert to glucose really easily, readily in your body. Okay, processed sugar is not as readily. Protein, is what we were talking about. So I just want to show per meal, this is kind of what you need to be thinking about.
And so typically, they recommend 3 meals a day. So you're saying that meal on your main meal or every
I would like to, this would be at least one main meal a day with all of these things in it.
okay.
But basically, this is one pictogram showing what your daily allowance should be. Half of what you eat per day should be fruits and vegetables. 25% should be protein. 25% should be grains, carbohydrates. This
That
is
sounds
just an
good.
overall. Every time you approach food, keep this in mind. This is how much you should consume or what you should consume on a daily basis. Half, quarter, just like that.
Right.
It
So
should
I
sum up
know
to.
that sometimes like on the fitness world, they consume like in a smaller portion, probably 6 meals throughout the day, you know, just on a
Mhm.
smaller portion. Because they're into the fitness world, either bodybuilding, powerlifting, um, running, track, you name it.
Yeah.
So I think that like I don't know who came up with the 3 meal per day, but I think for the average person, 3 meals to a day to incorporate what you just said is a brilliant thing.
Well, honestly, Chris, from what I understand and way I function, honestly, is that I do like maybe you do. I kind of snack throughout the day. And so, but my accumulation is building on that story that we just talked about. So, as an example, um, I'm really focusing on my protein intake currently. I know I get plenty of the other stuff. And so I just started adding up my grams. So throughout the day, it's like, okay, I'm at 11 grams. 5 more grams. Okay, I'm at 16 grams. 2 more grams. Okay, da da da. So that by the end of the day, I knew I had consumed enough protein. And
Okay.
so that's the story I'm trying to get. It's not so much that you consume it all in one meal or that you divide it amongst three, but that by the end of the day, you've eaten all those things that your body needs to
Okay.
function proper.
Wow.
And I eat
Nice.
like you. But then I do have one main meal per day.
Okay. Got you. That's
So
brilliant there. That's brilliant, Beck. So I
yeah,
appreciate
whatever
that.
fits your personal thing, right? So
Yeah. I appreciate that.
yeah.
But all right. So today talk is about protein, right?
Yeah. Yep. You brought some stuff to the table that I was not very familiar with because I'm not in the fitness world as much as you are. And so you talked about some whey protein, some whey protein, isoprotein, and hydroxylated protein.
Yes, hydroxylated protein. So you have
Yeah.
some info on protein as well?
I did. And so the whey protein seems to be the one that it's a good option if you're looking to supplement your diet.
Uh-huh.
So that's but so other people might choose a different one depending on what their digestive needs are and also what their overall goal is going to be. Like as an example, do you use whey, right? You use whey protein, correct?
So I use so let me give you a quick breakdown of the way the percentage. So
Yeah,
whey protein concentrate contains about 70 to 80% protein with some fat and lactose. Okay. Whey protein isolate contains 90% or more protein with a minimal lactose and fat. And whey protein hydroxylate protein absorbs more quickly, often used in medical protein supplement and infant formula. Okay, so that's
right.
one of the three bases there that we typically. So the question you're asking me about whey protein, I use whey protein and I also use whey protein isolate too as well. So
Because
some
it's over in
brand,
the
some
fat.
company give you a certain percentage of isolate and some percentage of whey. So whey, if you're trying to bulk up more, then you consume a little bit more on the whey side protein. But
Gotcha.
if you're trying to stay lean but still um, show your muscle definition, then isolate protein, in my knowledge, would be the best way for that too as well.
Gotcha. That was my general takeaway as well. And also, what I read was that one scoop of whey protein provides 22 grams of your RDA for protein.
Right.
So you know how to get drunk by
Right.
consuming that.
So, but once again, like we talked about, whatever different athlete you're dealing with that consume burns, so they got to get pound that protein in because your body is going to take what it wants to take and get rid of it, right? Just like
Yep,
taking
yep.
a vitamin C pill, you say 1,000 megagram, but your body's
No,
probably just going to consume 500 out of it. So
right,
it's
right.
just sometimes bodybuilders got to consume a lot of protein. So because the rip and tear of the muscles, they're able to repair. That's what the protein also helps in that
Oh yeah,
complex.
yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as the hydroxylated one goes, I believe that one is just like you had mentioned with the infants, it's because it's more water soluble.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah, it breaks away the protein. So as soon as it's digested, that hydroxy group that's attached to the molecule disassociates, goes into water, and then releases the protein. So it's just more easily digested. So I think that's
Yeah.
why that. And some people that have lactose issues, um,
Right.
they may
Yeah.
go that direction, right?
So yeah, with the lactose, a lot of times, you have people also mix regular milk with the protein as well. So with
Uh-huh.
me, if I'm lactose, uh, got lactose situation,
Yeah.
then I use I use water instead of milk.
Right.
So
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes I use a little bit of almond milk in there just to give it a nice little twist on
Flavor.
flavor.
Yeah.
But typically is water I use for that. So absolutely.
And yeah, so you do that, and so I think that sounds like a pretty good approach to just as a, if you're a little light in the protein department, like for me, I don't eat a lot of meat, and I don't,
Okay.
well, specifically, I don't eat a lot of red meat,
Uh-huh.
and so consequently, I've realized recently that I actually do have a deficit. And so this would be something that people like me that are like bird eaters, we might need to pay more attention, obviously. And so adding a supplement is a really good idea, but not a
Absolutely.
substitute. Okay, we need to be really careful about that. We want to make sure
Okay.
people understand a
Yeah.
supplement is one thing. You cannot use these as a substitute.
Right.
Okay, they're in
Say that
addition
again,
to.
Becky. Preach, Becky. Preach.
I'm
Preach,
telling
Becky.
you. So when we're
So,
doing the way how any of these things that we're talking about, like even the monohydrate creatine and so forth, um, anything that we take, we need to consider these simply as a supplement, not
right.
a substitute.
Right.
We need to eat food that's raw and barely
Right.
processed. It's super important. And if you
Right.
want to consume more water, raw fruits and vegetables and water are your best source.
Right.
And so, but really what we want with the whey protein, what I'm getting at is don't think of it as a substitute because it's not.
Right.
You will have a deficit in things that are critical to proper body functioning, such as zinc, iron, and B12. B12, oh my gosh, if you didn't have enough B12 on board, you wouldn't want to get out of bed.
Right.
You just
That's your
not have,
that like abuse of fuel right there.
right. And so use it as a supplement, but please don't go the substitute route. It won't do you a
Right.
favor.
A lot of people I think does that, Beck. It's like they'll take a protein shake or protein powder and substitute that for their meal intake, but they're robbing themselves of the natural minerals that they need, that your body actually needs. So they lose
Yeah.
focus on, okay, if I take protein, my protein is what I need, right? But they lose
Mhm.
focus on all the other stuff that they actually need. So
Yeah.
they have to
It,
be careful of that.
yeah. You can't just look at the outside picture. You have to think in terms of what's happening in here on a cellular level. You know,
Right,
you can be pretty on the outside, physically fit on the outside, and the inside ugly because you're mud. You don't have good things going in there. And not only that, but if you don't eat proper, your physical appearance will not follow. You will look
right,
like you're not healthy. Your skin will lose its sheen. You'll get ashy, scaly. There's all kinds of things. A good, healthy diet pays off in spades in so many ways. So many
right.
ways.
So to
So,
wrap up, to add to this and to move forward, once again,
yeah,
audience, all we're saying is protein is very essential to the body, but as Beck is saying, you still have to eat all your food groups as
right.
well, right? So
Yeah,
protein is just a supplement to your normal day eating, right? Is
correct.
that
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yep.
cool, cool.
Yep. And so I just kind of briefly wanted to talk about, so what about, well, where do we get those three things that we just talked about that are critical that you're not going to get inside your protein supplements? So would you like to hear a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Talk to me, Beck.
Okay. All right. So to get iron, of course, we know that we get a lot of our iron from red meat, okay? And
Okay.
dark leafy green vegetables such as Popeye, spinach.
Right.
And so we want to eat those things in iron fortified cereals, such as in breads and brown rice, beans, nuts, seeds, white meat, fish, tofu, eggs, and dried fruit. And
Wow.
vitamin C helps to absorb iron. So when you think in terms of taking an iron supplement, make sure you're taking your vitamin C as well, because they kind of work in
Wow.
concert together.
So when you say vitamin C helps, so break that down a little bit more on your science background.
Oh my gosh. So you're asking me to do bioprocesses. That's really challenging. So I'm not that great at that. But I can just tell you that in all these biosynthetic processes that we have, remember when we were talking about the cell, we have to have magnesium, we have to have calcium, we have to have
Right.
sodium, or those protein pumps don't work. They
Right.
won't allow in and out a flux of fluids and minerals. So the same thing is going to kind of happen here, but we're talking about ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C. If you
Okay.
don't have ascorbic acid, iron comes into this biosystem, right? It's in this
Yeah.
biosystem, we call it a wheel, And here we've got vitamin C over here, and here's iron going la la la. Well, without vitamin C jumping in the game, the iron will sit in lieu. It'll just continue to da 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 until it
Okay.
gets the proper impetus to become active. Vitamin C jumps in the game. Now we've got a bioprocess happening.
That's good. So what came to me as you was trying to explain that, have you ever seen those Velcro, right? The Velcro needs the opposite end of it to attach to seal itself
To work.
together. So
Yeah.
as uh, as we're talking to our viewers, vitamin C is very crucial in to bring the molecule of iron in to function into your body. So they work hand in hand. Is that what you're saying,
That's right.
basically? Okay,
Yeah,
awesome. So,
absolutely. Yeah,
Becky, bet I take vitamin C every day.
I do too. I do
So,
too.
yeah,
It's vitamin C and vitamin D and E. I take E as well because it's good for your skin and stuff. But
okay,
yeah. Yeah.
nice.
And that's another thing. So for folks that do take supplements and vitamins on a regular basis, you want to make sure that you're partnering them with each other properly because some work in concert with each other. And if you don't take them all at the same time, you don't absorb them as well. So
Wow.
before you jump in the vitamin game or the supplement game, do a little homework. And if you have questions, let us know because we'll be more than happy to look it up for you and find an answer.
Right.
But we just want to make sure that when you do approach making a change, you're considering everything. Like if I wanted to add like more iron into my diet, okay, that's cool. But I need to make sure I'm addressing my vitamin C or I'm just adding iron for nothing, for no reason.
That is really good. That's real good. And I hope our viewers understand what we're saying there, and I hope our viewers have questions to what
Me too.
vitamins to link up to get to make sure your body function are getting the right amount each and every day, the right doses, that is paired up together, the right ones. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. It's kind of like the amino acid picture that we talked about earlier on. Those are all the building blocks and components that we have to have in place. Yeah,
Okay.
they have to work, and
So
it's like a system. It's like you
right.
said, everything works very precisely. But if I take
So
out one little piece,
so we have to go to a quick commercial. We're doing
okay,
we're sponsored by, let me grab our brand here. We're sponsored by
yeah,
Impact Water LLC. Impact Water is a great, pure, natural spring water. It's from the Appalachian Mountains. It comes in a 16-ounce aluminum bottle. You can find this on impactwaterllc.com. And this is our sponsor today. And also, if you guys have any sponsors out there that you would like to showcase on our show, any products, definitely reach out to us. We put a plug out there for you guys. Just let us
yep,
know. All right.
yep.
Today's broadcast was brought to you today by Impact Water LLC. Thank you.
Hey, I can attest to the beautiful quality of this water, for real. It is good.
All right.
And you know
Amen.
what? Oh, and so I have to say one more thing though, real quick. So you probably noticed it's an aluminum can, right?
Yeah.
So you can reuse these containers, which I love. And
Yeah.
also, whoa, and also tell the story about aluminum because I love it.
So aluminum. So one thing about aluminum is the aluminum could recycle its own self. It makes its own self. Where plastic takes about 5 to 6 other elements to make that bottle again. So that's
Right?
the uniqueness of the aluminum. So absolutely.
Totally, totally 100% recyclable. Love it.
All right.
Or reusable.
Awesome. Awesome. We thank you. Thank you so much for that. So as
Yeah,
we're
now
moving forward into the
we
protein,
want to talk about zinc. Where do
huh?
we get zinc?
Okay. Let's talk a
Another
little bit
one.
about zinc.
Yeah, so if we're going to do a supplement, zinc we have to take in addition to. And again, where we're going to get that is in red meat, oysters, poultry, seafood, nuts, whole grains, breakfast cereal. So again, almost the same list as we had before. And it says leaner cuts of meat like pork tenderloin are better for your heart.
Okay. Nice.
So we want to stay away from the fatty stuff. So
You
zinc is
know
next.
what?
And then, yeah.
I got hip to zinc when we went through that episode of the COVID era.
Oh, I thought you were
Um
going to say love during lockup because you were in that vitamin store. I thought maybe you guys were talking about it
oh
in there.
no. So on the when we went through that COVID era, um is when I start hearing a lot about the doctors saying zinc is a great fighter against any or help. I don't know if it helps you immune or it helps fights against the COVID. I don't know all of that, but that's when I started taking in zinc as a supplement, as a
Yeah,
vitamin supplement. So,
yeah.
do you have any inclination on that?
I don't, but
Okay,
I do know that when we do keep up on those things, it absolutely will help our immune systems fight off.
okay,
So as far as particularly zinc or this or that, but just generally speaking, any of these that we're talking about are going to help your immune system. So
okay. So
especially,
you was like what you were saying. A lot of your zinc comes from your red meats, different
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, basically meat, but you can get it from your whole grains, nuts, and breakfast cereals. So, and then we have a list of food that I'm going to mention here in just a second that will help those that don't eat red meat to make sure that you're getting where you can go to get your proper nutrition. And those that are thinking about going that direction, maybe this will be helpful. Those that are already practicing probably are well aware. But anyway, we'll talk about that list real quickly because if, let's say, we do eat meat, but we still want to beef up our proteins, these are sources we can reach for that are healthy
Okay,
snacks. And we can get that. So B12 is the next one. And again, that's going to be meat, pork and beef, poultry, turkey, fish, tuna and salmon, etc., organ meats, clams, sardines, nutritional yeast. I want to tell you something about nutritional yeast.
okay.
Trout, non-dairy milk, and eggs. Now, dairy products have about 3 times more bioavailable B12 than meat, fish, and poultry. Did you know that?
No, did not know that back.
Neither did I. And I love ice cream. So I was like,
I
no,
do
but
too.
I do like milk. I enjoy a little bit of milk here and there. I find that it helps me to quench my thirst quicker than water, honestly. Sounds weird,
Yeah,
but it
that
does.
is weird. That's very
It
weird,
is so
Vic.
weird. And get this, if I
I,
eat
I
ice
don't
cream, I
know
have to
one.
chug a glass of milk after. It's crazy. I don't know why.
I think you
But
just
anyway,
hooked on. I think it's just a childhood thing with the Oreo cookie and milk.
maybe,
Maybe that's the
maybe
subconsciously thing. But
I think
yeah, in my world right now, water is the best quencher for anything.
oh yeah. Well, I always have water around. That's the old story. But yeah, I do love my ice cream followed by a big chug of milk. Anyway, so we wanted to buy B12 is super important, and I mean I knew it was, but I didn't realize that dairy provided 3 times more than anything else that I'm eating. That surprised me.
Yeah,
So I thought that was a good tidbit to share.
yeah.
Um, Proteins that we can consume that are not meat. Here's
Okay.
the list. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of these you probably already eat. So beans and legumes, broccoli, chickpeas, edamame, lentils, nut butter, nuts and seeds, oats, peas, quinoa, sorghum, soy milk, spinach, tempeh, and tofu. Now, I don't know
Wow.
what tempeh is, and I'll have to look it up. I don't know what it is. So I definitely
That's a
some kind
lot.
of
That's a
vegetable.
lot on there.
It
That's a
is. And so
and
there's a
yeah.
couple of things here that are kind of fun to have around for snacks. One of them is edamame. Have you
I
ever had those?
I know. Say that
No.
again.
Edamame. It's spelled
Edamame.
EDA. Yeah, EDAMAME. Edamame.
Oh, okay.
And it's a bean. It's a bean, and so it comes in a pod. You usually steam them. You can gently salt them if you want to. I don't do
Uh-huh.
salt, but you can add some kind of whatever seasoning you want. I don't eat them plain, but once you steam them, you can just eat them. They're
Wow.
delicious.
That's
They're a
pretty
great little
cool.
yeah.
That's great info on that back.
Yeah. Do you
Absolutely.
want to hear a little? Now, I asked you about tofu because tofu is also another great resource for non-meat protein. And you said, meh, not a fan.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I
not.
wanted to
I mean, tofu. Yeah, I think it's good for the some small community that enjoys that. I gotta eat. Like I gotta see big plate stuff. Tofu probably is a small intricate things. I need to see some.
So
Yeah.
let me tell you a quick thing. Now I'll make this. It's really easy. It's really good, and I'd like you to try it. Nutritional yeast is one part of that. If you haven't had that, it's really good. Nutritional yeast comes in a flake form. You can put it on popcorn instead of butter, and you don't need to add salt. So as soon as you do your popcorn, dump some down and shake it around. It's delicious. Okay, so there's that. Now,
Okay.
for tofu, you're going to buy really firm tofu. You're going to squeeze out all the water. You're going to thin slice it about that thick, a quarter of an inch thick. You're going to put a little bit of low sodium soy and let that soak just long enough to get it sort of a little brown.
Uh
Then you're
huh.
going to take that, you're going to put it in some nutritional yeast back and forth like this.
Uh
And then you're
huh.
going to saute those planks of tofu in soy and nutritional yeast, and you're going to eat it just like that.
That's very
It's
interesting.
fantastic. It's fantastic. If you like soy sauce, you'll love it. The
Oh,
only thing
okay.
is, use the low sodium though, because it's just as flavorful,
Yeah.
and you'll,
So yeah, a lot of times I don't consume that. So the soy sauce is that black sauce, right? Is
yeah,
that what
yeah,
you're?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of
yeah,
time I don't consume that, but if you got the low salt one, I'm all about. I'm willing to try. So
right.
absolutely.
I definitely,
So
yeah. So
and
you should try that, guys. It's really good.
yeah, okay. Awesome. So back to the different. We're talking about protein today, and we talk about the different ways your body can absorb protein, different food groups you can eat to get protein. So another one that we bring up to the table as we talk about whey protein, isolate protein. Now we talk about plant-based protein is a little bit
Yeah.
what you just talked about, but the
Uh-huh.
plant-based protein can come from various sources as peas, rice, hemp, soy, and other protein contain amino acids, um, widely dependent on the source that you're taking. So plant-based protein in a powder form is another way to get protein into your body.
Right.
So that's something that our viewers could definitely check out as plant-based
Like,
protein.
and like we talked about before, when we're kind of on the fly a lot, and so like during the day in particular, when it comes to mealtime, we might be a little less prone to sitting and fixing some food. This is where these supplements play such a great role. And like what
Yeah,
Chris was just talking about, so you have different options for adding these into your diet for a supplement. And that's, make yourself a smoothie and throw some in there, or whatever your choice is. Just find the
yeah,
one that works for you. But it's an easy thing to do to supplement your diet by just fixing yourself something like that.
absolutely. So a little bit of the research we talked about, and so why would people take protein? When would they take it, and all that? I mean, you could go down. Some people take protein early in the morning. Some people take protein after the day is done, because
Yeah.
it does a whole lot. So one of the they talk about muscle growth and repair is what a lot of the protein does for your body too as well,
Right.
by
Yeah.
consuming that supplement protein as well.
Mhm.
Um, it's something that's convenience. We talked about you could mix the powder with the water, and you're on the
Yeah.
go. You're out the door instead of full course meal at that moment. But remember
Right.
that when we talked about earlier, these are just supplement we're adding to your daily intake of your food groups, right?
Mhm.
Protein
Yeah.
helps with weight management, as well, because you know, I was watching Doctor O, something like that. Doctor O, is that what it is now? O's something, but
Oh no.
yeah. well, Doctor O, he was showing. I don't know if you
Oh,
saw it.
Dr. Oz.
I have to show. We have to show this, huh?
Yeah. Dr.
Uh,
Oz.
oh yeah, Doctor
Oh,
Oz.
yeah,
Doctor O. But anyway, but he was on this show and showing like a 5 pound fat or 2 pound fat, like a
yeah,
yellow thing. And I was like, all this is in our body, our cells, all over our body, So we have to be mindful of what we take in. So protein is more of a is a great source, it's a lighter source that fuels your body a lot quicker. So
right.
when you if you try if you know some people try to like not eat and think and they're gonna still keep their muscle compound, your
Yeah,
body goes after your muscle quicker than it goes after your fat cells. Am
right.
I right about that?
That's correct because your body looks at fat as I need that in case I'm out in the desert and I need food.
Right.
So it's going to keep that in storage as long as possible.
Absolutely. So we just have to definitely be mindful of that. Nutrition supplement, high quality source of whey, like we talked about, amino acid that you need, your body needs, all those essentials.
Yeah.
Um, it's just protein overall. Just looking at this whole chart helps with your immune system as well.
Hmm.
There's a big word in here on my notes, and I ain't gonna try to say it. Just know that protein helps with your immune system, so it's good to intake protein every day. It also helps with aging as well. So the building blocks again as you're getting older, your body start going the opposite way. So by exercising, working out, consuming protein will help slow that process down.
Yes.
Because one of the biggest thing is trying to eliminate stress out of your life. We talk about that all the
Mhm.
time. Is
Huge.
eliminate stress. Take yourself to
Hmm.
the gym. Take yourself on a walk. My mother, she walks. Oh my goodness! I know back in the time she would walk 5 miles a day. After work, she's a nurse. She'll work a
Uh-huh.
12-hour shift, gets off in the morning, and still go walking at 2 or 3 miles. So
That's crazy.
staying
So awesome.
vibrant, yeah, it's essential to the body. Also, protein is a great recovery tool. So that's what I also use protein for. Is like if I go hard in the gym, so we're tearing the cells down, our body down, the muscles down, and where the
Hmm.
protein comes in to help build that back up. And so
Right.
that also helps with a lot of sleep time as well. Sometimes you see people, they got their party life going, but it's not helping that body. It might look good socialized right now, but down the road is where you typically will pay for that. So a good night rest, they recommend 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours of sleep, some
That
deep
can be
sleep would be
challenging.
great.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
you agree with that, Beck?
Oh, absolutely. I do. Sleep dependence is going to depend on where you're at in your life stages. Obviously, when we were younger, I can remember my mom making me get up because I'd want to sleep longer, and get up. It's time to do. We're going.
Yeah,
But now, though, after 5 or 6 hours, I'm like, swing, I'm awake. So it just
right,
depends on where you're at in your life stage. Those that are my age probably know that you probably are sleeping a little less than you used to. I don't know why. I found that as a frustrating thing for a while, but now I've just accepted it, and now I seem to be a little happier because, well, it is what it is, right?
right,
Um, but more importantly, is like when you were talking about it's the quality of your rest. I mean, you can nap during the day if you need to, but it's the quality of rest that you're getting. So when
right.
you go to bed, make it a good rest, you
Yeah,
know. And so
absolutely.
if we've provided the proper nutrition to our body, that's when we go into repair mode. When we're resting, when that's all your body has to focus on is let's repair all these things, you know. So having that proper nutrition on board by the end of the day really is going to pay off for you. By the next morning when you get up, you'll feel so much better.
Absolutely, Beck. I agree with you. So
And
also,
stretching.
right. So
Keeping
also,
stretched up. Yeah.
also protein is also good for your bones as well. So it's definitely strengthen your bones, your vitamin D, calcium. So there's a lot of that, a lot of benefits protein brings to the body, on your bone side.
Yep. When we
It
first
says
started talking about it, I'm so sorry. Sorry.
what were you
I was just
saying?
going to say, when we were talking about amino acids, those all go towards building proteins. Proteins are the building blocks of life. It's kind of like those Legos that you used as an example. That was a brilliant example. You might have 100 different Lego blocks, but you can build them into different things. And that's the
Yeah,
same thing as proteins. They're made of different components, but for a specific thing. So you can change your blocks to make something different.
right.
Building blocks on building blocks. Protein is the building blocks of life. It's critical that we have that in check.
I agree with you on that, Beck. Absolutely. Also, protein helps with your skin, your hair, uh, your nails. All that protein helps with all that. All the amino acids that we talked about earlier.
Mhm.
So yeah. So overall, protein on our topic today, we're talking about protein. Protein is a huge essential. You know, just helping our body overall. So
Yeah,
yeah,
to generally operate well, and especially if you're on a physical fitness path, you definitely need to pay attention to your amino acid consumption so that you can build this proper protein and then add those supplements so that you can continue to build on that. And so like you were saying, when you go into the gym and you're trying all these new things, you're pushing yourself to that next level, you're tearing stuff, you're doing damage.
yeah,
And so when you feel pain, it's because your body goes, I just reached my capacity. But it will repair if provided the proper tools. And
right,
so that's the bottom message right there, is that if we provide all that proper nutrition, our body will absolutely repair itself. And
absolutely,
you'll
yeah,
see it on the outside and you'll
right.
feel it when you get up in the morning.
Right. So for the for bodybuilders, their main thing is to gain mass, but yet also show the definition, of their muscle tone. So
Right.
as they're working out, they're building their muscles, they're ripping it, but the
Yeah.
next day they have the ability to even lift more, right? Because the more you strengthen or rip and your body's repairing, proper sleep, proper food, intake of good water base, all that helps build your body back up even stronger than why you initially started.
Yeah.
So,
You're kind of programming every time we approach the table with a new regimen. Your body will adjust as time goes by. And so you can continue on your path. Just know that it may take time. You're not going to get overnight results. So just be willing to be patient and go through the process.
right, absolutely. Well, Beck, I tell you, we had a great story to base today.
So,
So our viewers look for us next week, Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Every Tuesday morning, and at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you're on the East Coast, you're 2 hours ahead of us. If you're on the West
yeah,
Coast, you're an hour behind us. So definitely check us out. We are on YouTube live as our main platform under Impact Water LLC, and our show is Chris and Bec TV Show. So definitely check us
yep,
out. Bec, you was
yep.
amazing today. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. What a great show. And I just
Yeah,
want to encourage our audience again to come hang out with us. Give us some subjects that you're interested in, but maybe don't have the time to look into. We'll look into it for you because if it's important to you, it's important to us, and we want to talk about it.
absolutely, Bec. Once
And we
again,
want to be healthy and fit.
Once again, today's broadcast was brought to you by Impact Water. You can find it on impactwaterllc.com. We ship right to your doorstep. We're also on Impact Water on IG, and we will deliver. It comes in a 24-pack case, aluminum, 16-ounce aluminum spring water. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for tuning in today. Look for us again on next week, Tuesday at 10 o'clock a.m. Chris and
Yes, sir.
Bec TV Show.
Chris and
Bye.
back.
Bye. All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Bye-bye, Bec.
Have an awesome day. Take
Bye.
care.
Yeah.
Bye.